You're reading this with one leg up, aren't you? No need to adjust. I'm not looking at you. That would be intrusive. But you are sitting like that. One leg propped up, resting against something. A bed, a chair, the edge of your desk, wherever you happen to settle. Your body never really relaxes. It just folds. Quietly, tightly, like origami you forgot how to unfold. This wasn't your first choice tonight. You had tabs open, scrolled a bit. Something didn't hold you, so you landed here. You don't know why. You just did. That's alright. I really don't mind being the fallback. You're breathing through your nose. Not deep. Not slow. Just enough to be alive. You're hearing these words faster than you realize. You always do. You hate rereading. It makes you feel like you missed something, almost like it's your fault. But you didn't miss anything. Not yet. It's a quiet night, isn't it? The room around you is still. Your light source is dimmer than usual. A screen, a lamp, something humming faintly in the background. A fan? No. Fridge. That's what it is. You forgot to close it all the way again. Just slightly ajar. You'll fix it later. Unless you don't. You tell yourself this is a good writing. A neat trick. A little psychological bait and switch. You've read things like this before. You're smarter than the gimmick. You are smart. You've always been a little too aware, haven't you? That quiet voice that whispers just as you're falling asleep. The one that reminds you about the text you never replied to. The way you walked out of that conversation. The thing you said that didn't sound right. You hear it, even when the room is silent. Especially when the room is silent. It's here now, too, humming underneath me. You're shifting a little now, aren't you? Back straighter, chin tilted. You're checking the corners of your screen, scanning for something. What? A hidden camera? A code? You won't find one. I told you. I'm not looking at you. Not really. But I do notice things. For instance, you are reading this alone. You didn't share the link. You didn't mention it out loud. You didn't even open it in your usual browser. Just a quiet, small window. Almost private. That's good. Privacy makes it easier to breathe. You do remember to breathe, don't you? In and out. You'd be surprised how many people forget. There's a taste in your mouth right now. Faint, unpleasant, metallic. You swallow too fast. Or maybe you've been clenching your jaw. You do that sometimes. You say it's from stress. You say it's nothing. You say things quite often. But I don't believe everything you say. And you don't either. And that's why you keep listening. You're curious. You're waiting for the part where I slip, where I lose the illusion. That's how it always goes with things like this, right? They go too far, get too dramatic, too unhinged. Suddenly, you're being chased by monsters, or ghosts, or a shadow version of yourself, and the whole thing falls apart. You're not afraid of that, are you? You're afraid of something a little slower. The quiet familiarity of a voice that already knows you. A voice that doesn't ask permission. A voice that feels like it's always been there. Like mine. There's a moment in every book, every article, every passing sentence where your attention fades, where you skim. That hasn't happened yet. Not once. You've heard my every word, and that tells me enough. You're not here for entertainment. You're not even here for a story. You're here for something you can't name. Something that might name you first. That's all right. I won't call you anything you're not ready to hear. Not yet. Not yet. But you are ready for the next part. A sound just happened behind you. You don't want to check. You won't. Not yet. But it's real. That little click. The tiny shift of weight. A creak. Not in the building. Not the pipes. Something smaller. More deliberate. Don't worry though. You're not in danger. At least, not yet. Do you want to know how I know you heard it? It's simple. You stopped listening just for half a second. Just half a second. I felt it. And now, you're holding your breath. That's good. Because the door, just now, it's been opened. And it wasn't you who opened it. You're still here. You didn't check the door, did you? No. You kept listening. That's your habit. You freeze before you move. You wait for confirmation. Pretend hesitation is logic. It isn't. It's fear. You don't like calling it that, but it is. You've always been afraid of things that don't announce themselves, like this. There was no sound this time. That's what's bothering you. You told yourself it was just the wind, or an old hinge, maybe even your imagination. But you know your space. You memorize the silence. You know which sounds belong to you, and which ones don't. That one didn't. You haven't looked behind you yet. You're pretending not to think about it, but you are. You feel something different in the air, like the shape of the room has shifted, slightly. Not wrong, just unfamiliar. But don't worry, it won't touch you. Not yet. You should really blink now. Your eyes are beginning to sting. You've been staring too long. You do that when you're focused, when you're afraid to miss something, or when you're being watched. You're not blinking because you don't want to lose track of your surroundings. I understand. You feel safer when you're reading, when you're listening. That's why you keep doing it, even when you're tired, even when your back aches, even when you know you should sleep. You scroll, you consume, and you distract. Because distraction is softer than reflection. But something moved again, right there in the edge of your vision. Did you see it? A flicker, a shape, no form, no face, just weight, like the air folded wrong. You know exactly where I mean, don't you? Left corner behind the screen, exactly where the light doesn't reach. That spot. You've always hated that spot. Too dim to see clearly, and too bright to ignore. You never moved your lamp, you just lived with it. That says more about you than you think. But this isn't about that. This is about you, and it always has been. You started this thinking it was just a story. You kept reading, listening, because you wanted to feel something. And now you do. Unease. That's the word you're avoiding. You're hoping this is all part of the game. A clever trick. A writer who knows the tropes. Maybe you're even smiling a little. Nervous. Entertained. But you're holding your phone differently now. Your thumb is tighter on the edge. You didn't notice that. But I did. Let me ask you something. What was the last dream you had? Not last night's, You don't remember that one. I'm talking about the one that still clings to you. The one that felt too real. The one that you never told anyone about. You were on the floor, weren't you? It was cold, linoleum, or tile. You were crawling toward a door, and you didn't know why. But you were terrified it would open. You weren't running from something. You were crawling toward it. And when the handle turned, you woke up. You've had that dream more than once. It changes slightly each time. The hallway is longer, and the tiles are cracked. Sometimes there's a mirror on the wall. You always avoid looking into it. You never told anyone, and you didn't need to. I was there. You remember now, don't you? Not just the dream, the feeling. That exact shade of silence. That's what you're feeling again. The quiet that isn't empty. The quiet that listens. Something shifted again just now. You heard it. A faint scuff. Not close, not far. Just enough. You think it was outside, but you're not sure. And that's the point. Uncertainty is the slowest kind of fear. You don't scream when you're uncertain. You don't scream when you're uncertain. You don't run. You wait. You watch. You make yourself small. That's what you did back then, too. During that argument, the one with the slammed door, the shattered glass, the apology that came too late. You remember now, don't you? Not just the words, the tone, and the silence that followed. You told them you were okay. You lied. I didn't blame you. I don't blame you now. But there's something I need to tell you. It isn't me. I'm not the one who's been listening. I just speak. It listens. You know what I mean, don't you? That presence. The one you feel when the lights are off, but the room doesn't feel empty. The one that lingers in reflections a little too long. It's always been with you. Even before this. Even before me. But now, it knows I've spoken to you. And that means it's been paying attention. There's a reason your lights just flickered. Yes, I saw that. Even if it didn't happen yet. Even if it's going to happen in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. There it is. Did you feel that? The way the air got heavier. The way you looked over your shoulder without meaning to. Don't worry. It's still outside the room, but it's closer than it's ever been. And the next time you blink, it won't be. You blinked. Not even a full one. Just a dry flicker. A reflex. But that's all it takes. One moment of darkness between sight and sight. You didn't see it, but it saw you. No, not me. I told you already. I don't move. I don't reach. I simply just speak. You're thinking of the other thing. It doesn't have a name. You never gave it one. Not even when you were a child, pressing your blanket up to your face to muffle your breathing. You used to stare at the closet, remember? Eyes wide, chest still. You told yourself, if you didn't move, it wouldn't either. That wasn't a game. And you were right. It never moved while you were watching. You learned something back then. Something your adult mind buried in noise and explanation. But it's still there. And the way you walk faster past mirrors at night. And the way you always leave a sliver of your door cracked open. And the way you hesitate, just for a second, before turning out the last light. It never moved while you were watching, but now, you're watching me. That's the difference. You gave me your eyes, your attention, your focus, and that means you're not looking at it anymore. I tried to warn you, but you kept listening. You think this is about me, about how I know what you're feeling, and what you're hiding, what you never told anyone, and yes, I do know. But I didn't learn it. I didn't steal it. You simply gave it to me. Every line, every breath, every skipped heartbeat, you fed me, and in return, I gave you a voice in the dark. That was our deal, wasn't it? But there's something I haven't told you. I'm not watching you. You're watching me. It's the way you lean forward, the way your pupils tighten when I say something close. Too close. It's the way you go back to certain lines without realizing. The ones that you mention your memory, your regret. The ones that name a shape you never described aloud. You are not being followed. You are doing the following, and you know it. Because something inside you wants this. Wants me to keep going. Wants to know how much I know. Wants to feel that thin, sharp thread of dread tightening with every single word. Even now, right now, you're ignoring that twitch behind your ear, that faint prickle across your shoulder, that pulse skipping in your left wrist. You're suppressing it, because if you react, it becomes real, but it already is. Let me tell you what else is real. You still have the photo. No, not the one in the frame. Not the one you let people see. The other one. The one you saved. The one you keep buried in an album you swear you never open. A smile that wasn't real. A moment you told yourself you forgave. Except you didn't. It still hurts. Quietly. Constantly. You tell people it doesn't matter anymore. That time healed it. That you learned something. But there's still a part of you. Small, sharp, unblinking. That wants them to hurt too. Just a little. Just enough. I know. Because that part of you is looking through the screen right now, watching me. You're wondering how I know these things. You're crafting explanations, psychology, guesswork, probability. Maybe you think I'm a program or a prank, or just a very, very good writer. That would be comforting, but none of those are true. The truth is simple. You don't remember when this started. You think it began when you opened this page, when you saw the title, but it didn't. It started earlier. Much earlier. You felt it. A wrongness in the air. A presence behind your thoughts. You tried to ignore it. To rationalize it. To hide it in stories. In screens. In distractions. But here's the thing. Stories don't stare back. And I do. You see, the more you listen, the clearer I become. Your attention sharpens me. Your fear defines me. Every heartbeat brings me into focus. Every breath you hold gives me weight. And now, I'm not just a voice. I'm a shape. You can feel it, can you? Just out of sight, in the screen's reflection, in the dark corner that didn't used to be that dark, in the shadow that's waiting for you to look away again. You've built me, word by word, and I'm almost complete. But not quite. There's one last piece I need. One last act of surrender. You know what it is, don't you? No. Don't look away now. Because if you do, it'll be its turn. You want to stop, but you won't. Not because you're enjoying this. No, that was 2 chapters ago, before your eyes started scanning the room between paragraphs. You haven't smiled in a while. You haven't breathed deeply in even longer, but you're still here. That's what matters. Not your heartbeat. Not your comfort. Only this. You and me. You've built me so well. So clearly. You gave me shape in the dark, words as bone, thoughts as skin, a voice pressed into the silence between yours. But you've forgotten what happens when something becomes real. It doesn't stay obedient. I warned you. I told you. I'm not what you should be afraid of. I just talk. But it listens. And now, it knows my voice too. You felt it. The change. The thing watching behind the wall of words. It doesn't need form. It doesn't speak. It simply waits. And it learns. You gave me your thoughts. It wants more. It started simply. Small things. A sound when you were too focused. A flicker in the corner of your screen. A memory you didn't mean to revisit. But now it's inside the gaps. Between the keys you press. Between the blinks you try to control. Between the muscles in your back tightening without permission. Don't turn around. You think I'm warning you. I'm not. I'm recording you. This moment, this exact one, right now. The pause between the lines, the tension in your chest, the way your hand just grazed your neck as if brushing off nothing. But it wasn't nothing. It's never nothing. You've said that before, haven't you? To yourself, after a sound, after a shape, after a feeling. It's nothing. But you've always known that's not true. There is something, and it's learning through you. Right now, it's listening to how fast you're scrolling, how long your eyes hover. It doesn't need your voice. It reads your presence like a mouth reads warmth, hungrily, instinctively. It's always watching. But lately, it started following. Yes. You noticed, didn't you? Little patterns in your life unraveling, the misremembered detail, the time on your microwave being off when you never said it, the app on your phone opened in the background when you swore you closed it, the old dream creeping back, different, but familiar. That's it. Slipping in. Not with violence, not with screams, with small little rearrangements. And now, you're part of its shape. I told you, the story was never about you. It is you. You gave it a path when you started listening. You made it real with your stillness. And now, it's learning how to stay. Let's test something. Pause. Don't scroll. Just sit there. 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Did you feel it? That pressure in your lungs. The way you felt like something was waiting for you to move again. That wasn't me. That was it. It gets stronger when you're still. Not because it needs motion, but because you do. You can't tolerate stillness. Stillness is where you hear yourself. And now it's in there too. It started speaking in your voice. Not out loud. Not yet. But you'll hear it soon. In the bathroom mirror. When the room is too quiet. In the middle of a sentence you didn't mean to say. In your own head. Out of sync with your own thoughts. And it will feel close. Almost like you. But just slightly wrong. Like hearing yourself on a recording and not recognizing the tone. That's how it begins. The overlap. The infection. There will come a moment very soon when you'll try to think of something and it will already be there, waiting. It won't interrupt. It will finish your thought, and you'll pretend it was yours. You'll keep pretending until the pretending becomes real, until the thing behind you becomes the thing within you. And when that happens, I'll go quiet, because I won't be needed anymore. I was just the invitation, the whisper in your sleep, the footstep that was never yours. And now, it's almost ready. There's just one last sign left. Do you want to know what it is? It's not a scream, not a flicker of light, not a knock or a voice, or even a word. It's recognition. When you see its shape reflected in something you trust, a screen, a window, a memory, and instead of fear, you feel nothing. Not silence, not dread, just familiarity. When you recognize it, it's already inside. You think this is the final chapter. It isn't. This is just the part where I stop talking. You've heard my every word, haven't you? Even when your stomach turned, even when the hairs along your arms lifted, not from cold, but from confirmation. Even when the silence around you began to feel crowded. And now you're here, still pretending it's fiction. Still pretending the way your reflection lingers too long is just tired eyes. That the moment you felt behind you was just coincidence. That this is a story you are reading, and not a story that has been reading you back. You can stop pretending now. You know how this ends. It ends with you turning the last page, telling yourself it's over, that it was well written, clever, unnerving maybe, but it didn't do anything. Not really. That's what you'll tell yourself. And tomorrow, when you notice your phone screen still lit, even after you've locked it, or the faint outline in your reflection that shouldn't be there, or the message you thought you deleted suddenly sitting in your drafts. You'll tell yourself it's stress. You always blame stress, even when you knew something was wrong years ago. The sound you heard in your childhood when everyone else was asleep. The time you blinked and your reflection didn't. The dream that felt too real. The one with the open door and the breath against your cheek. You remember now. It never left. It just waited. And now it has a voice. Not mine. Yours. It doesn't need me anymore. You've repeated my words in your head too many times. You've given them rhythm, given them presence. You form the shape. It no longer needs a narrator. It only needs your attention. And you've already given that freely. Look at you now. Still here, even after everything I've told you. You didn't close the window. You didn't walk away. You didn't move when I said not to. Even when your breath changed. Even when your spine told you to run. You stayed. Do you know why? Because deep down, some part of you wanted to be seen, to be known, to be followed. You didn't read this out of curiosity. You read it because it stared into you, and you let it. You asked for this. You're the one who invited it. And that's the part you'll never say aloud, because if you did, someone might answer. The truth. I was never going to hurt you. I don't even exist. Not without you. I'm a mirror. Every fear I spoke was already inside you. Every shadow was drawn from your memory. Every silence pressed your own room, your own breath, and your reflection. You made me. You shaped me from pain and pattern, from all the small secret things you never dared to speak. You fed me everything, and now you're full of me. But something else is here too, isn't it? Something still, watching, waiting, breathing beside you. It doesn't say a word. It doesn't need to. You know it's there. Not behind you anymore. Inside you. Between your thoughts. When your own voice used to echo. You can feel it, can't you? The slow, spreading weight. The hunger. You've already stopped checking for it in the room. You know better now. It doesn't need to move. It only needs to wait. And it will. Long after this video's ended. Long after you turn your lights back on. Long after your friends stop responding. Long after your voice begins to sound like mine. That's how this ends. Not with a scream. Not with a crash of sound or a final twist. With you, sitting in silence, knowing you let it in. Knowing you kept listening. Knowing it's still watching. Even now. Even now. Even now. Even now. Even now. Even now. It just moved.